Hey Dan K Show fans, we've got our coffee to give us a little extra energy, but we're not going to need it because we've got a whole show full of fun, stars, hockey, USPHL, NCDC, and everything in between. Lucas and I, the experts on all things hockey, coming at you next. Alright, it's time for our three things. I know Lucas and I are pretty pumped for this week's show because thing number one, Lucas, we're going to be talking about hair. Maybe lack of hair, maybe extra hair, maybe new haircuts from either of our hosts, me, Lucas, I don't know who, but we will be talking All Flo Team. You're going to have to send us your submissions for the All Flo Team. We'll be talking about it a little more later in the empty net, our favorite portion of the show. Thing number two, NHL Draft watch list came out. NCDC players aplenty. We got a handful of guys to talk about and maybe some snubs that we think should have been on the list. Going to thing number three, that final thing. Next week, we may just be doing some go-go power rankings all over again because we had the power rankings. It got a huge response from everybody, and I think there's a few teams that were left out last go-around who've done a little something in the last month of hockey. More power rankings coming next week, but for now, it's time to start the Dan K Show. Let's get talking. Dan K, Lucas Jones, coming at you.
You are watching the Dan K Show. Everything USPHL, from the NCDC to the Premier and Elite Leagues. The Dan K Show with Dan K and Lucas Jones.
Lucas, you know, a few weeks back during the break, we had some time to think. We had some time to crunch the numbers and look through it all. And as the two greatest experts in hockey history, we thought to ourselves, let's put together some power rankings for the Premier and Elite. We look at the Premier level and we heard a lot of complaints from some of the teams that maybe didn't get as high up as they wanted to in the rankings or maybe didn't make it at all. Two of those teams who have really shown up since our rankings, the Minnesota Moose and the Skipjacks Hockey Club. Lucas, tell me just what the Skipjacks Hockey Club has done since our power rankings.
So since being left off of our power rankings, Skipjacks Hockey Club has really shown us what for and won 8 games in a row.
8 games in a row, an 8-game winning streak for the Skipjacks Hockey Club. That includes a USPHL Winter Showcase where this team didn't beat 1, not 2, but 3 of our top 10 power ranked squads in a row, consecutive. Not only is that an insane strength of schedule, Lucas, but that shows a little something in not just what they're doing, but the hashtag Dan K bump. I think Dan K Show gave them that bump. Lucas, what's changed for the Skipjacks Hockey Club?
Well, you know, Dan, I think it's a little bit of everything. You know, when you see consistently like that, you can't really point to one thing. You know, it's a little bit of offense, it's a little bit of defense, it's a little bit of goaltending, it's a lot of team organization. We always talk about what happens when they go in for that holiday break, right? You know, do the kids stay conditioned? You know, how much time do they take? You know, what do they work on? What are they sticking with? And, you know, this Skipjacks team, I think, went in and worked on a little bit of everything and came out with a fire. You know, led by Tyler Jensen as their point leader at 51 points. You know, they've got guys, they've got depth.
Yes.
They've got guys at every position that can score, assist, play defense. The Skipjacks are really firing on all cylinders right now.
And you want to talk about the players, let's talk about the head coach of this team, Lenny Childs. You know, this is a former Janesville Jet, and this is a coach that not only went and won those 4 games at the USPHL Winter Showcase, but after win number 4, walked right up to me in the middle of that room, looked me in the face and said, "Where did you rank us? Nowhere? Why don't you check those rankings again?" And I said, "Sir, we will check those rankings again." And that's bulletin board material right there, Lucas. Talk about for not just the Skipjacks team, but maybe like a Minnesota Moose team who have now gone 5-2 since our rankings and have moved themselves from 1 point up on the Minnesota Blue Ox to 7 points up. Talk about that bulletin board material and what it's doing for these teams.
Well, it's great. You know, the Skipjacks moved from 5th place to 2nd place.
Yes.
You know, so that's a lot of vertical movement. That's upward movement. That's kind of that major league moment where they're you know, ripping the parts off of the off of the life-size cutout. You know, you just kind of post that up like, now we're in fourth, now we're in third, now we're in second. And that's great. And I think the Minnesota Moose are doing the same thing. You know, we got tagged in quite a few Twitter updates from the Moose when they played the Blue Ox.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Right, because
we did.
We've heard it from a lot of people ever since, you know, they were ranked 9th. And, you know, we have been made sure. That's the one thing I love. That's why I love being able to connect with fans on Twitter, is because when you annoy them, they let you know when they prove you're wrong, especially those Minnesota Moose fans. Those guys are made, they're cut from a certain kind of cloth. They let you know every single time that you have wronged them. They will tag you in Twitter updates. They'll tag you on every single goal. That's happened to us a couple of times before.
They're wonderful too. You know, I love that mentality, that fan mentality. Any group of fans that have the fandom to reach out to our show and tear us apart when we're wrong, we're happy about it. Because you know what, we could be torn down a few pegs, me included. You know, we always think we're right, and most of the time we are. We're pretty good at this. But this Minnesota Moose team, we knew they were good. We put them in the top 10. We put them at number 9. This Minnesota Moose team has taken a big leap. And if you ever see a Moose leap, it's a scary sight. Those things are the size of a freight train car. I don't want to mess with them. They got big-time horns. Again, hashtag antlers up for the Skipjacks Hockey Club. Hashtag jacked up. That's what they've been using there on their hashtags for their Skipjacks Hockey Club. Check out both of these teams. And with that, check out next week, because we may just be coming back with some extra Go-Go Power rankings.
Want Dan K and Lucas Jones to come to your town? Follow Dan and Lucas on Twitter. Dan at Dan_Kamichik and Lucas Jones at LJones1138. Hashtag The Dan K Show. Get more of The Dan K Show on their YouTube channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know the NCDC is a high-quality level of hockey. We all know that it's taken it to the next level, that this season's been huge for these guys, and that it's an incredible product. Now, the NHL Draft watch list just came out, and we've got a handful of guys who the NHL are looking at come draft time. Let's look down the list here, Lucas. First, making the list was Cam Boudreau. This is a defenseman from the Boston Junior Bruins NCDC. We know how great the Boston Junior Bruins brand is, led by Mike Anderson. They're that head coach. Lucas, Cam Boudreau, we've watched him a few times. Just how good is he at separating from man from puck, keeping a stick on the ice, getting his eyes up, making plays ahead in the ice. Just how good is this defenseman?
I mean, Cam is everything you'd want in a defenseman, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I like to consider myself the defensive expert on the show. And playing defense isn't always as flashy as playing offense. But you know what? Cam's a guy that takes defense and he makes it look good. You know, it's that Junior Bruins tenacity. When we talk to Mike Anderson, he's always got that little fire in his eye. You know, that little bit of competitiveness that's always present. And I think Cam really reflects that. 6 foot, 178 as a defenseman, loves to get mixed up, loves to play high, loves to play low, loves to, like you said, Dan, separate man from puck. He just likes to kind of get a body involved everywhere. Whether he's kind of chipping a guy, whether he's checking a guy off as he passes him in the neutral zone, he's always involved and somehow always near the puck.
And you look at Cam Boudreau, I always say lights, cam, action when I watch this guy, because he's a flashy defenseman. When you're 6 foot tall and you're making your way into these NHL Draft watch lists as a defenseman, you know that you're skating even taller than you play. This is a guy that's going to tack on another 10, 15 pounds when he gets to the next level. He's got a lot of weight training to add on to it. He's already in great shape. He's already making things happen. Sky's the limit for this kid. I think this is a guy that makes his way up the list as the year goes on. I think he's got more play in him. Cam Boudreau, watch out for him, folks. Cam Boudreau, what do you know? And what do you know about this next guy? Another Boston Junior Bruin. And that shows you the youth movement they kind of went for during this draft period for the NCDC, led by Mike Anderson, along with just the talent they have and the additions they make throughout a year. This is a guy who's been playing with them now for a few weeks here, Alexander Parasunko. And Parasunko has been like Perrier. He's been fine water here, Lucas. He's been good. He's freezing it up. Lucas laughing at my Perrier. I didn't know where to go with it, but we got there. Whenever we need to get there, Dan K gets there. Parasunko, Lucas, how skilled is this 5'11" tall right winger?
Well, at 5'11", 175, bearing a striking resemblance to Cam Boudreau, which means this right winger's got some size behind him. You know, one of those guys, again, loves to play aggressive. When he steps onto the ice, you got to keep that head on a swivel. That kind of a presence is so important, and it's so attractive, especially when you get to the NHL. You know, you look at those guys when they hit the ice, and everyone goes, hey, pay attention, because this guy just stepped out here.
Alexander Parasunko, I love to watch this guy skate. He's got 4 goals already in a few games here since the break, and he's one of those skilled players that his hands are quicker than you think. He goes tape to tape when he passes the puck. And when you mix him with a guy like Gus Van Ness, a guy who didn't make this list, who I think could easily be put on this list by the end of the year, you see how much he can shine. And this is a guy that's going to shine down the stretch here the rest of the way, and he's got a bright future in front of him. Alexander Parasunko, watch out, folks, for this guy coming through. Next up on the list, this is a guy who made it. They've not seen enough of him yet. You know, he's dealt with some injuries this year. This is Georgi Dadov. We watched him play. 6'3" tall. He's 200 pounds. He's a defenseman with the Syracuse Stars, and you want to talk about a star. This guy is a big-time star. He is a black hole for forwards to deal with. He is a menacing force, Lucas. The size of Georgie. How big is this kid?
Well, he's got the size. He's got the skill. He could absolutely hold his own on any NHL team against any NHL forward. You watch how he acts behind the puck.
Yeah.
How he positions himself. That's that heady play, that awareness that so many NHL teams are looking for.
He is aware, he is heads up, he is heady, he is all the words you can give him. Moving to our final guy, we go between the pipes here. This is a South Shore Kings star. This is NCDC starting goaltender for the South Shore Kings. He's 6'2" tall, 198 pounds. And it's that size that really helps him make this list, and that's Tyreek Outen. And Outen he's quick in the net, he's quick between the pipes, he gets from end to end, he plays his angles. He's had a very good year.
Absolutely. You know, again, goaltender we've kind of seen a couple of times. We've followed him, we've followed his stats, we followed the game plan, and you can I like to look at goaltenders who their head is moving more than their body.
Yep.
You know, when the shooter is locked in, they're locked in. But when that puck is being cycled around and dumped high-low and kind of, you know, the offense is figuring it out, his head is moving more than his body is. He's not trying to move his body until he knows where that puck is going.
Track the puck, know where the man is. Those are the 2 things you got to do. He gets his angles, he does well. This is a great NCDC level, and in addition to the draft watch list, Lucas, we had a big story come out of the Jersey Hitmen camp in Wayne, New Jersey this week. Looks like a man who Lucas definitely knows how to say his name is going to be joining the Wisconsin Badgers. Who's that?
That's Oscar Skilled. I had the chance to interview him last year when I did my Holidays with the Hitmen segment. You can see that on the USPHL YouTube page. What a great kid. So much fun to interview. Loved talking to me. I loved talking to him. You know, great player, fast player, very skilled skater. Just a great addition to the Wisconsin Badgers.
It's really a great move by the Wisconsin Badgers. You know, it's always hard in any sport that has a cup at the end of it, right, or has a championship, has a title, to let one of your best skaters go. But this is something where the Hitmen are happy for him. They're pumped. They're excited. They're posting the article everywhere about this commitment. Oscar Skilled is going to be a huge addition to Wisconsin. He's a guy that can slot right in. He's out of Sweden, a Swedish speedster. He's going to be able to play anywhere you want him, any line you want him on, power play, penalty kill. Wherever he needs to go, he's going to go there. We know that about every Hitman skater we watch. And he's going to be dangerous. I mean, he reminds me, he's going to help this team as much as, reminds me from a few years back, UNH was helped by Danny Taroni, a netminder from, who was working with the Boston Junior Bruins before getting picked up halfway through the year. He's going to be a big addition for this Badgers squad, and he's going to be badgering opponents. I can promise you that.
I think the only thing the Badgers have to worry about is how to actually pronounce his name. Oscar and I had a conversation, and I said, I know it's Skilled, like, we've gone through that, but how do you pronounce it? And he told me twice, and I don't think I can make those sounds. I think that's a completely different set of phonetics.
We've anglicized it.
Yeah, we have definitely changed it, and he goes, you know what, Skilled's fine. And I said, great, because that's the only thing I know how to call you. So congratulations to Oscar, doing big things with the Wisconsin Badgers, going to the next level.
Going to the next level, and we are going to the next level now, Lucas. Where are we going next?
We're going to the empty net.
We're going to the empty net. We deserve an Oscar for it. Maybe an Oscar Skilled. Lucas, another long show comes down to how every good win ends on the ice. An empty net opportunity, and that's what this is. It's the empty net. Time for the empty net. Lucas, in the open of the show, I brought up an all-flow team situation. Explain to the folks at home what we're doing.
Well, it's been a couple of weeks now, and the show hasn't been necessarily the normal show, so you haven't seen it. But you know, a couple of teams this year, they said, "Oh, if we beat your prediction, you cut your hair. If we do this, you cut your hair." Well, I kind of all beat you to the punch because I cut my hair.
The hair's gone.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, I screamed. I didn't know what happened. I thought someone had kidnapped Lucas and sent a new Lucas imposter.
We have a Lucas imposter with short hair. I think it looks good. I kind of like it. I'm still kind of feeling it out. You know, you let it grow, you let it see what happens. But we made a little video, kind of an in memoriam piece, and so we're going to cut to that. Now, I hope that wasn't too sad for anybody. I hope, you know, there weren't that many tears. I know Dan's wiping a few away here, but we'd like to do something special to commemorate the loss of my hair. We're going to be starting the Lucas's Hair Memorial All-Flow Team for the 2017-2008 season. The Dan K Flo Team, which we're going to be using the hashtag DanKFlow.
Hashtag DanKFlow.
That's Dan K F-L-O-W. It'll be popping up right here.
Hashtag DanKFlow.
So what we want you to do, we want you to pick teammates, sons, rival players who have great flow, who exemplify what it means to have a flow. Send them a picture. Send their name, send what team they're on, and send us a picture. Use that hashtag so we can track it. We are looking for 5 skaters and 1 goaltender in any level of the USPHL to be on our all-flow team this year. So send in those pictures, send in those recommendations. We'll put them together. We'll make our team, give them some shout-outs at the end of the season.
Remember, flow knows no bounds. It knows no limits. Flow could be like this beautiful flow that I cut in solidarity with Lucas to keep in line with him. When I knew he was cutting his hair, I say, I cut mine too. That's what we do as a team. And then you could also have, short flow and a mustache, long flow and mustache, long flow, no facial hair, long flow and a beard, medium flow, mohawk. Anything your heart desires can be flow to you. If it's flow to you, it's flow to us, and we'll be voting on it here in the Dan K studios and deciding who our all-flow team is. So get on the dials, get on the Twitter sphere, get on the Instagrams, get on the Facebooks, as your parents call it, and get to us. All-flow team is going to be huge.
That's right, Dan. And you know, although I don't have my flow anymore, I'll still be able to judge how your flows are and pick our best. And you know, I think it's best exemplified by something my stylist said to me, who did such a phenomenal job. Erin, my stylist down in South Jersey, going to put a little bit of a link to her Instagram here. She does great work down there in Hainesport, New Jersey. She said to me, "Gone, but not flogotten."
Gone, but not flogotten. Erin, wise words from a wise stylist. Lucas refers to the person who cuts his hair as a stylist. Mine is a barber. I got mine done at Sal's Visible Changes, and he visibly changed my head. He also tried to sell me an apartment. Thank you, Sal, for all that great work. But we keep going here, Lucas. We have our 300th follower alert. Wee woo, wee woo! 300th follower alert, and that 300th follower is Britt Malazzo. Britt, thank you so much for being our 300th follower. But to you folks at home, Dan K himself has over 700 followers. How come his show has less followers than him? So if you're following me, go over to the Dan K Show now and follow at @the_Dan K Show. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can. Follow the Dan K Show. Lucas, what else is coming up on the empty net here? I got something. This just in, hot off the presses. Lucas Jones will be making his debut, you heard it here first, on the mic, Dan K free, play-by-play, to finally prove once and for all that I am not at all necessary for this broadcast. He will be at the New Jersey Rockets' beautiful Bridgewater Sports Arena, bringing you Premier Hockey.
Premier Hockey, Saturday, 3:50 p.m. You know, this whole season, I've apparently lived 12 minutes away from Bridgewater Sports Arena and had no idea.
Yes.
And we did a game there. We did an NCDC game there. And they said, oh, you know, you came all this way. And I said, no, I live in New Brunswick. I'm 12 minutes up the road. So now I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot more games, which is amazing. They have a great team. Their premier team's in first right now. So they're doing a great job. That arena, the Bridgewater Sports Arena, is so nice. The staff there is great. The players are great. So I'm excited to do that. Like you said, Dana, my never-ending quest to prove that you are not actually necessary to run the show.
At this point, I'm basically like a decoration. You know what I mean? I'm here. You kind of are used to me being around, so you kind of keep me here. Eventually...
He's gone. Where do you go?
Oh, sorry, man. I was just practicing my David Copperfield magic for people from Boston like me. It's the Boston version of David Copperfield is David Copperfield. He's C-A-P-P-E-R field. I don't know how to spell field. But, see? Just like a decoration. I can come, I can go. Lucas, we come and we go and we talk about hockey here and there. Tell the people what you'd like to tell them before the end of this show. Can't get him. Sometimes you think to yourself, I did get him, but he didn't clear the memory card, so it looks like I didn't get him at the end of the show this week. Who knows? You won't. We will deep down inside. Other than that, we hope you're enjoying the Dan K Show each and every week. Follow us, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, The Dan K Show. For Twitter, it's at @the_Dan K Show. I'm Dan K, that's Lucas Jones. It's going to be a fun weekend of hockey. We're excited for it. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen.
Just remember, I do the editing.
He does do the editing. But also, I do magic. Lots of magic.
Was something supposed to happen?
Yeah, it was. I was hoping you could do it in post, but I'm not going to put that on you. He's not going to do it in post because that's way too much work. Dan K Show is all about hockey, not about magic. A little bit about magic.
A little bit.